Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast, the podcast where we unlock the latest tech news, leaks, and rumors so you don't have to. I'm one of your hosts, Benji from BenObi Tech, and I'm joined by Taylor from TA Tech. And today we're doing a solo episode, I guess. We haven't had an episode where it's just us two, where we can just relax. We don't have the pressure of having like some big creator on. So this is going to be a bit of more of a chill episode. But Taylor, how are you doing? Even though I've already asked you this before, but how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for another week, and it's getting closer to the Apple event, which is going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, it's crazy how time is flying by.
Man, let me tell you,
it's almost time.
Wasn't February 1st just yesterday, and now we're what, 15th? What's
crazy.
Going on? Like,
it's like February started and then we're here. It's like,
dude,
didn't even have time to breathe.
2022. Can you slow down? Jeez. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. But hey, you know what? A lot of cool things are going to be happening, and I'm here for it. You know. So
yeah, and it seems like the tech news drought is starting to. Tech news is starting to pick up again.
Yeah,
which is always a good thing. So, guys, in today's episode, this is episode 19 of the Tech Unlocked podcast. It's crazy how we're all also on episode 19 already. I don't think I've ever ran a podcast that has gone up until this point. So, we're about to become very famous. Not famous, but we're starting to get a lot of episodes in. But today we've got quite a lot of stuff to talk about. We actually have 10 different news articles to cover. We're going to be talking a little bit about Apple's tap to pay. Apple also accidentally leaking their VR AR headset software, which is exciting. Apple's also fixed AirTags or fixing AirTags soon. We're also going to be talking a little bit about the Apple event that's coming up in March. Some new information has surfaced about that. We also are going to be talking a little bit about the Samsung event, which you saw part of it, right, Taylor?
Yeah, I saw, probably the first 10, 15 minutes of it. And then I just dropped off. I don't know, man. The thing is, and I even made a video about it. I really feel they need to change things up. You know, having the event invites or whatever they put up beforehand, I think is just way too much. Plus, they go half an hour with that music and just the repeats of those things popping up, and it's just it's honestly cool to see how, the logo has progressed over time and how things have changed over time. But still, I feel like,
oh yeah, I was like, are you talking about the event or the waiting timer thing? Oh, I hate it,
dude. That to me was just a sleep fest, and I honestly, because I was saying, okay, the event is going to be at this time, but then I got notifications of people going live and reacting to it half an hour before, and then I went to go see, and all you could see was that, and I'm just like,
it's just the cube.
What?
It's the stupidest thing. I like Apple's because everyone is different, and it usually has the art for it, and they have some Apple Music playing.
Yeah, that's the thing, and
that's what Samsung should do.
Yeah.
Partner with Spotify or something. Or some artist. There you go. Instead of showing BTS at the end of the event, which is the point where everybody clicked off, why don't you put it at the start, before the event starts, so then people actually have something to listen to.
Exactly. I think it would be so cool, and even seeing, maybe some kind of behind the scenes where, the presenters are getting ready to go on stage and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that would be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm gonna share a little bit of my thoughts on the event a little bit later when we come to that topic. But before we start, we want to share a little fun fact with you all. So almost half of the United States of America uses AirPods or Beats.
Yeah, yeah,
So
bro.
that that I thought was very
I've,
interesting.
I've said this in past streams and stuff. You would not imagine how many people at my gym have AirPods. It's like,
They're everywhere.
dude, when those first gens came out, everybody had them. And I'm just like, because I was thinking, like, they were a little bit expensive for me at the time. And I'm just like, man, and when I saw them, I had, mind you, at the time, I was using the ones that came on the box, the wired ones. And then I see everybody else having those, and I'm just like, man, I have to change.
You're behind with the times, totally.
I have to buy these because they're, like, I feel embarrassed. Everybody has AirPods, and I'm over here with the earpods that come in the box, getting tangled on my crutches. Bro, you don't know how many times I've fallen because either the thing gets tangled on my crutches or my phone will just fall out of my pocket and like I'll just go flying. It's crazy, but thank God for these. And honestly, I can't believe that people are still wearing those earpods in 2022. I saw somebody the other day using them, and I literally wanted to go. I don't know if you've ever seen people
they just go cut the wire.
cut them and then give them AirPods. That's what I want to do to these people. That's what, listen, man. I don't know if if too many people do it on YouTube, but one day I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, I mean, there are some people that still use. There are some people that still use wired headphones because they're paranoid and they're scared the AirPods give them cancer. But,
Bro, come on, please.
I mean, there's no real scientific evidence that that's the case yet. So,
you know how many?
I'm gonna keep using my AirPods.
If that were true, you know how many people would have cancer right now? Please.
Exactly. Yeah. It's. Anyway, I think it's very interesting to like look here at the statistics. So basically, like according to the Statista, whatever that, however you pronounce that, global consumer survey, basically Apple holds 34.4% of the market, which means AirPods, 2, AirPods original, AirPods Pro, AirPods Max. 34.4% of the market is owned by Apple. But then we move down and it's 15.3% is Beats by Dre, which is like AirPods is double of that, which is crazy. But still, Beats by Dre is owned by Apple, which makes up 49.7%. And then you have like Bose, Samsung, surprisingly. Don't exactly know how they kind of dominate that space, but oh well. Even JBL, Sony, Skullcandy, and then LG. Google's not even in this.
Damn.
Who owns Pixel Buds? I mean, seriously.
Damn.
But it's crazy. Like 49.5% of the market is owned by Apple and Beats, and they're both the same company essentially. So,
wow,
it's crazy. And the AirPods has grown into a $20 billion annual business. That's how much they've been making from just AirPods. Like that's just insane. It's insane to and to think like at the start when Apple removed the headphone jack with the iPhone 7, everybody was hating Apple. They're like, "Oh, how could you do this? I loved my headphones. I loved plugging my headphones into the headphone jack." But then now it's like AirPods, which are the solution to that. Literally everybody uses them now.
People will go out and buy the dongle just to use the AirPods. It's like,
exactly. But then you've even got people that are going and buying fake AirPods because everybody's got AirPods. So like, oh, I want to be cool as well. And so they just go to some random sketchy, I don't know what convenience store and you just buy the AirPods that they sell in there.
Here's the thing for me: if you can go out and buy a $1,000 to $2,000 phone, you can go buy a pair of AirPods.
Oh, like, yeah, definitely. I completely agree. Like
Like,
you can find them for so cheap now as well. Like if you want to,
and
you know,
I love
go
how people
dodgy
say,
and
"Oh, I love how people say, oh, I don't really like them. They don't fit." They're literally the earpods without the goddamn wires. What are you talking about?
they should fit better actually, because like like
Exactly.
the ear pods, I never really used them because they never fit in my ear, and
Me
then eventually
either.
like
Me
after
either.
a couple of years they'd start fitting, but like the big problem with that was the cable was weighing down on it, and
Yeah.
so because my ears, I don't know, my ears are too big for them or whatever, like they kept falling out. But then with the original AirPods, which are the exact same design, it's just that
Yeah.
it's got no wire, those fit completely fine, and I could like dance around and move around and run, and they wouldn't fall out. But then Apple came out with AirPods Pro,
Bro.
and like those fit
Bro.
even better. So I love
Bro.
AirPods Pro. I love these things, ladies and
Oh, me too,
gentlemen.
bro. Me too.
You can't see them because my camera is on manual focus, and so it will not focus on this. But I love my AirPods.
Are
One of the
you
best
thinking
purchases
of
ever.
getting the third gens and reviewing that for
Third
your
or
channel, or?
what you mean? No, I don't like the other ones. I prefer the pros, just because they've got noise cancellation and transparency mode.
True, true. Yeah.
Like the others may sound slightly better, maybe, but I
Yeah.
honestly, I'm gonna wait until the new pros come out and then maybe consider switching and
Which, I
upgrading.
mean, it does make more sense. So, you
Yeah,
know.
but anyway, that was a bit of a discussion on AirPods for you
But
guys. You learned absolutely nothing from the first 10 minutes of this episode. But now we're moving on. We're moving on. I'm gonna take this first one, Taylor, if you don't mind.
sure.
So Apple has finally announced what was actually rumored the other day. I think we talked about it last week or the week before. Actually, we've been talking about this. This is the third episode in a row where we've mentioned this. And like this is the same with AirTags. We're actually mentioning AirTags again in this episode, and it's like the fifth one in a row. But anyway, Apple has finally announced Tap to Pay, which essentially means you can use your iPhone as a payment terminal. So if you have a small store or you're even a small business and you just go to people's houses and you offer services, or they come to you and you offer services, you now no longer need to buy a payment terminal because you can receive payments on your iPhone using NFC, which is a game changer. Rest in peace Square and whatever other company makes payment terminals. You're
Bruh.
going out of business, but apparently later on this year we will be receiving this tap to pay feature. I'm super hyped for it. Honestly,
Yeah.
but I really
Yeah.
hope, I do hope though that they also, this isn't just like a business only thing, and like
Right. Yeah.
individuals can use it as well, because like so many times, like maybe you give a lift to your friend, or you do a service for your friend, or you like sell your friend something that you have, instead
Yeah.
of like going and downloading Cash App or using Apple Pay
Yeah.
through the Messages app or whatever. You
Those
could
apps
just
are going to suffer too, I
tap and
think.
pay. Oh yeah, I think Cash App and that kind of. I mean, I think it's good because you can like with Cash App, for example, or Venmo, you can literally send money from you to anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Um, you don't have to be local. But then, like if your friend's sitting next to you, or like even you sell something on Facebook Marketplace, for example, you sell a phone,
Right.
and you meet up
Right.
with the person
Right.
in a Costa Coffee or something, or Starbucks or whatever. You're just like, hey, I could just pay you right now using Apple Pay, and you just pay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple as that.
It's going to be pretty
It's
cool.
it's gonna be so good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally am hyped for this. Like when I first heard about it, I was like, interesting. But now the more I think about it, the more I'm excited. But also at the same time, I'm not excited because I know it's not gonna come to the UK for at least 6 months, which is the sad truth. But
Yeah.
those in the US, you're getting it soon. But what do you think, Taylor? Are you excited as well for this?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
What do you think they're gonna? Do you think it's really gonna like run other companies out of business?
Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure.
Apple's
Uh,
already killing Tile, so
dude. Damn.
and Tile has been in the Bluetooth
Kyle's going to be.
tracking.
Damn.
Tile's been in the Bluetooth tracking business for 10
I.
years or something. And now Apple
Yeah.
comes out with AirTags. It's like you could track it from literally anywhere.
Oh man, hey, it's like they say though. Other companies do it good, but when Apple does something, I mean, they knock it out of the park. I'm sorry, but it's true. I
Exactly.
mean, Yeah, we've had these mishaps with AirTag and stuff, but honestly, like, they're fixing it, and it's gonna be fine. Um, same thing with. We'll probably talk about this a little bit later, but like same thing with the folds. All these other companies have made foldables, flippables, and all this other stuff, but we haven't seen or really heard much from Apple. And but honestly, I really think that they're doing something behind the scenes, and they're going to be getting on it, whether it be now or down the line. I think that they're just trying to perfect it before they even say anything that they're working on it, because they want to make sure that this is going to be something that's reliable and that's going to work for everybody, without any issues,
Yeah.
and not become, again, shall I say, something like the dead power or air power, you know. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's my thoughts.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll talk a little bit more about folds at the nearing the end of the episode, because we're going to be talking about the Pixel Fold. But anyway, do you want to introduce the next topic we have here, Taylor?
Absolutely. So Apple accidentally leaks new reality OS. Man. Um, so I kind of have a rant about that. But we'll talk about that, further in the episode, because it has to do with FaceTime and everything with this. But what's your overall thoughts on the software side?
I mean, I think it's pretty funny how Apple keeps leaking this kind of stuff in software, and then you've got just random developers like, "Oh,
Right,
I just found this." It's like, wow, you're
right.
pretty good at finding that kind of stuff in the software. But I think
Yeah.
realityOS, I think realityOS is a great idea, a great name for it. I mean,
Oh
what
yeah.
else would you call it? Would you call it like
It,
AROS
I was
or
gonna say
VRAS? It's like Vros or Art Ross or something. I don't know. It would be so strange. But
dude,
no,
that was
Reality OS I think is really cool. And I mean, it kind of confirms that Apple is working on this virtual reality stuff, and we might even see a sneak peek of Reality OS at WWDC,
yeah,
which I kind of hope if they do,
man.
they'll have to like come out and say we're also doing a VR AR headset. So we might actually see an unveiling of it, or like a teaser
Yeah,
at it as soon as WWDC, which is super exciting. And they'll probably like say this is coming later, like next year or something like that, because
right.
from the rumors that we've been hearing, the AR VR headset probably won't be released at the end of this year. It'll be released early next year,
Yeah,
2023. So, but I mean, if they start teasing the software, and then they start saying, "Hey, developers, you can already install this beta on on your computer, and you can start testing it, and then eventually we'll also give you like the units that you can test things out with."
yeah,
Because I think because I mean it's a new software, so it makes sense that they would announce it at WWDC. So then developers
yeah,
have time to kind of start creating content for it, and then when Apple comes out with their VR AR headset, let's just call it their reality headset. There we go.
yeah.
When Apple comes out with their reality headset, then there's already going to be a bunch of developers that are already on board, and a
Oh yeah.
lot of apps that are already available for this headset. So I'm really excited to see why why it was leaked so early. If it does mean a WWDC announcement or not,
Yeah.
um,
I'm
but I'm
hoping
I'm
so,
I'm hyped.
dude. Even if it doesn't release, at least mention something. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
I think that would be cool.
but I think normally when we get like these kind of leaks so early on in the software, I think it means it's coming soon.
Yeah.
Like we saw some other things kind of happen in the same way, where certain
I just have
products were leaked and then like a couple weeks later they dropped.
Yeah. I just have one request for Apple. Make it a one more thing, because that would be badass. Excuse my
Oh
language, but that
yeah,
would be.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I,
definitely.
I think that
Um,
bringing the one more thing back would please so many people. You know.
yeah, and this whole talk about the reality headset kind of segues really well into our next topic, which is Gurman, Mark Gurman, the master of Apple leakage. I don't know whatever you want to call it. He's actually been saying that FaceTime for the Apple reality headset could rely on Memoji and SharePlay for FaceTime. So this was something that I was thinking of like when I first started hearing rumors for this reality headset, or at least recently I've been thinking a lot about it. Like how
Yeah.
if what Ming Chi Kuo said like a couple months ago is true, and in 10 years our iPhones will be replaced by these VR AR headsets, how is FaceTime going to work, or how are selfies going to work? So
Right.
apparently
Right.
you're going to be able to use Memoji and
Right. What?
SharePlay for FaceTime, which is kind of strange. Like it's gonna apparently face track, and like I don't know if it's gonna even track your facial expressions and stuff. But apparently that's how FaceTime's gonna work. It's not gonna be like a you see the other person. You're gonna see a cartoon version of the other person. I mean, I've seen some examples of like how the metaverse works and stuff with this. It
Yeah.
looks kind of whack, to be honest. But
Yes. Yes. Um. Yeah. I think that this is certainly weird. Um. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to wait and see how it all
yeah,
works and what people react to it. But I honestly, I I can't even see FaceTime working with that. Like, I mean, maybe us seeing the person, but how would the person see us? You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I think it'll probably like because it's a mixture between VR and AR. It's probably gonna project the whole like a room in front of you, and then you're both gonna be in this room, and then you're gonna look around as like you're in a room, and then you've got the other person there, and it's just like a full fledged memoji.
Yeah, yeah. That would be cool to be honest, though. We'll see.
Yeah, but
Uh,
this is just taking a quote here. I think this is from Gurman on Mac Rumors. He says, "I imagine a virtual reality version of FaceTime where you can be in a conference room with dozens of people. Instead of seeing their actual faces, you'll see 3D versions of them, memojis. I assume the headset will be able to determine a person's facial expressions in real time, making the experience fairly lifelike. I would also look for heavy use of SharePlay in the new Reality OS, allowing multiple headset wearers to experience music, movies, and games together." So I think this is I'm not. I don't think this is exactly a rumor or a leak. It's kind of like Gurman's thoughts on how he thinks this is all gonna work. But it kind of makes sense.
yeah, yeah,
And even the share play thing, I think is would be really cool. Like you've got a group of friends over, or like you're having a car road trip or something, and everybody but the driver, of course, is wearing the headset, and you could be playing at the same game or movies. Like imagine playing a board game in like virtual reality. You just like
that would be cool.
you see your table, and then you just got a board game on there, and you just like tap buttons in the air and stuff like that, and it does stuff. Like honestly, I would like
It, it would be
to
cool to
to use
see,
that.
like, you're saying that, so like it would be cool to be like seeing, um, AR hands. You know what I mean? Like our hands reaching out and seeing the AR hand reaching out to the group and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I wonder
but
how this whole reality OS is gonna work in terms of like how are you going to interact with it? Like, are you going to touch buttons on the thing? Are you going to be using your Apple Watch? Are you going to be using your iPhone as a remote?
that's a
Or are you
thing.
gonna actually gonna be using your hands, and the reality headset will be able to like see where your hands are and kind of like track them and know what you're doing with them?
Yeah, that was the thing, and I also heard. Um, I mean, I didn't think anything of it, but like, I think it's the Oculus or whatever that has the
Yeah, it has the two remote
movie stuff.
things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I wonder if they're gonna have something like that as like a maybe like a separate accessory or something. You know?
maybe. I mean, I hope
That would
not,
be
because
cool.
I hope they do it. They just do it like I think it would be a lot more futuristic if you just used your hands instead of having some
Yeah,
extra
no,
remote
for
that you're just
sure, for
holding and you're like,
sure.
eh. It's
But
kind of
like,
strange, but
you know,
yeah.
but like for games and stuff, I think that would be
Oh
cool.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think definitely for games, like maybe even just having a controller. Actually, no, yeah. Seeming as it's virtual reality, it's just have two things to hold. Yeah, they probably sell that as an extra accessory for like $300.
Yeah, yeah,
Something
for
crazy.
sure.
You know, Apple. It's like they're always trying to grab money from people.
Oh, let me tell
Yeah.
you. Yeah, for sure. So let's move on to the next topic here.
Cool.
Apple fixing AirTags. Man, we've been hearing like all this stuff with AirTags the last month or more, and now we're hearing that they're going to be fixing it. You know, um, I really hope that they can. Knowing how many people have already bought the AirTags and how many people have multiple AirTags. This is a really big thing for everybody. So hopefully they'll be able to fix it and have it so it doesn't happen again. But what are your thoughts, Benji?
I think the way that they're handling the whole situation is really good, and I like how Apple's actually seeing that this is an issue and they're trying to resolve it. So basically, what they're doing is at least from my understanding, is whenever you set up an AirTag, it's going to send you notify you that this AirTag is linked to your Apple ID, and so if you track anybody with this, the police will have access to all of your information that's on your Apple ID, like name, email, phone number, address, that kind of stuff. So they're
Yeah.
basically going to collaborate with um, like police and stuff like that. And also, apparently, they're going to be making there's new privacy warnings, what I just described
Yep.
is going to share your Apple ID with law enforcement, and then improved alerts as well. So you'll receive a notification if there's an unknown AirTag nearby, um, and this is going to be like for any device that has Find My, I guess, and it will also be clear to identify the exact accessory, because I think before you just said unknown accessory detected, but now it's going to say AirPods Pro detected or
Yep.
AirTag detected. um, and then moving on a little bit, there's precision finding updates, um, which basically, yeah, you can pinpoint the item a lot easier. And also they're changing the sound, so they're making it louder. Apparently,
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
it's randomly gonna go off as well, within an interval of 8 hours and 24 hours. Um, if the AirTag is disconnected from your devices, it'll just start making a beep. I don't know how long that's gonna last. Um, but yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I think these changes, although I don't fully understand a lot of them, I
Yeah.
think it's good that they're taking a step in the right direction, and they're kind of trying to stop people from using AirTags maliciously, which is what a lot of people are. Well, not a lot, but what some creeps are doing, which is kind of
Yeah. Which
not
is
good.
yeah.
It's not the intended purpose of AirTags. Like, you buy an AirTag to track your items, and you're not buying AirTags to track someone, because that's
Right.
creepy.
Right. Yeah.
So
Um. I mean, again, no offense to all those creators, but I think their intentions were pretty good. But then, like I said, I feel like a lot of people took that the wrong way, and then that's when
yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but I feel like I was hearing more and more after I saw those videos. It was really weird.
Yeah, because then people kind of have the idea in their head. They're like, "Oh, I can use this to track this girl I like," and then they start stalking. But
Yeah.
now they can actually get arrested for it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and Apple's making it harder for people to. And I think even like, I think you made a video about it, the silent AirTags that we talked about even last week.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
like,
I did. We
seriously,
we talked about it in our last episode of BMAC, and
yeah, exactly.
I got
I
that.
don't know. I mean, this whole thing that Apple's trying to fix, I think it's this these silent AirTags are also going to be affected,
Definitely.
in a positive way, because
Yeah.
people won't be using them as much. Um, but honestly, I can't wait to see how these new features will work, when they'll come. Apple just said later on this year, so hopefully they come like next software update or whatever. Maybe we might see it in iOS 15.4. I think
Yep.
that's the one in beta right now, or
Yeah, they're
15.5 or
still in
whatever.
beta. I think they actually just released one today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think 14.5 is, or 14.4, no, not 14, 15.4 is in beta right now. I think, I hope these AirTag features come in that
yeah,
version.
yeah. The
We'll see.
sooner the better. Sooner the
Yeah.
better. Um, but would you like to move on to the next topic?
Yeah, of course. So Apple is getting sued as per usual. This time for jelly scrolling, for jelly scrolling on the iPad Mini. Um, what do you think, Taylor?
I
Like,
was close to making a video about this, okay? Because a lot of creators made very clear in their videos and their reviews that this isn't a software issue. This has always been something that was going on in certain devices. Now that Apple has made a mini iPad, you can notice it more. You could always listen. I have the iPad 6th generation, and um, I've noticed a little bit of lag. You know, so it's just depending on what type of screen it is on that iPad and what generation it is. You know, if it's old. Uh,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, this one isn't old, but it's because of the screen that this is happening. So there's technically not, it's hardware. Maybe they're gonna make a a new iPad with a different kind of screen, and then people will be happy. You know, um, but this isn't something that you know can be fixed easily. You
yeah,
know,
exactly. Like, if they wanted to fix it, they'd have to like recall all the iPad Minis, redesign it. It
exactly,
would just be a
and
mess. Because,
I'm pretty sure if that were to happen, a lot of people would be even more pissed about this.
oh yeah, they're like, why do I need to return my iPad Mini? It works fine.
Dude, like so many people say that it works fine and there's no need for all this crap, and I just feel like this is just being blown overboard. I really do.
Yeah, I think like even the fact that they're getting sued for this, but this is something that it says on Mac
Dude,
Rumors for the reason why they're being sued for this. In late September, an Apple spokesperson said the effect is normal behavior for
yeah,
LCD screens. According to ARS Technica's Andrew Cunningham, iFixit also said the effect is common for displays, but the repair company speculated that it may be more prominent on the new iPad mini due to the display's controller board being mounted vertically inside the device rather than horizontally like in the generation iPad Air, which kind
yeah,
of makes sense. But
right.
still, why go as far as suing Apple for this? Like, you're just going to cause
Because people
a
have
lot more
no lives.
problems. Because, I mean, Apple even came and admitted, they're like, look, yes, we are aware that this is an issue, but
Yeah,
this also happens on other displays. Like, yes, it's not as prominent on other displays, but
right.
it's just a
That's my
it's
point.
just the way it's just the way that they built the iPad that it's just more noticeable. And of course, probably like 9 out, or let's just exaggerate here and say like 7 out of 10 people aren't even going to notice this.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're gonna give this to a grandma, they're not gonna care. They're just gonna be like, oh, iPad, nice. I can go on Facebook and talk to all my
right,
grandma friends. So
right.
so like it's not like, yes, I see it's an issue, but like when you're gonna only notice this if you're like looking closely and
Yeah,
being like, oh no, this scrolling, like, does it affect the way you use the iPad? No. Does it stop you from using your iPad? No. Does it really change your life if it didn't have jelly scrolling?
yeah.
No, because
No,
it's not changing any function of the device. It's literally just like when you're scrolling, it's just a little annoyance. I
yeah.
don't think it's something to get really upset about and then decide to sue Apple for millions of dollars just because they're like, oh, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's like, it is what it is. People just deal with it. Apple's not going to change
Exactly,
this.
dude. Like, honestly, I don't know, man.
Yeah, people are just people are blowing this out of proportion.
Yeah,
It's annoying.
yeah, it
Please
really
stop.
is. Just if it's such an issue to you, return the iPad and get a different one.
Yeah, or just don't buy it in the first place. That's
Or
also an
that.
option.
Or that.
So, yeah.
Seriously.
Anyway,
But moving on.
so Apple.
I mean, I could go about this all day, but
Yeah, let's move on. So Apple has confirmed that there's going to be 3 new Macs coming very soon.
yep,
They registered these with the European Union registration thing, whatever they do every time they release products. And so we've got model A2681 and then models A2615 and A686. So according to Apple Track, the one of them is a new Mac laptop, which is probably going to either be the MacBook Air or the MacBook Pro.
yep,
And then there's going to be 2 Mac desktops, which is probably going to be most likely going to be the 24-inch iMac and maybe the iMac Pro or the Mac Mini. There's just there's been a lot of speculation on this. We're not 100% sure which ones, but I think if I were to put my money on any of them, I'd say 13-inch MacBook Pro refresh is
yep,
the MacBook, Mac Mini with M1 Pro and M1 Max because that's not too hard to make, and then the other one is the 24-inch iMac with an M2 processor.
yep.
Um,
So
I don't
many
know. What do you
people
think?
are like going, crazy because they're gonna be making another MacBook with the Touch Bar and stuff, and it's just like,
I'm sad, honestly, about that because
me too,
like
dude. Me too. Like,
just keep it. Just keep it on all the other MacBooks. You don't have to be dumb and just be like, no.
dude,
If
like,
you
honestly,
want Touch Bar, you get less power.
yeah, exactly,
It's like,
exactly.
bruh.
Um, man, you know what? Like, I, I personally love the Touch Bar. I wouldn't, get another one unless it had one. Um, honestly, if you don't like it, that's your opinion. But don't ruin it for everybody else. You know what I mean?
I think this whole like Touch Bar thing. I hope they bring it back, but I mean, that's kind of just false hope at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
true, very true.
so anyway, Macs exciting. They're coming. Um, which one of these 3 are you most excited for? Even though both of us are probably not going to buy any of these 3. Like,
Yeah, no. Um, again, I think the new 13-inch. Yes, it's just the same as the one I have right now, but it's gonna have new new specs and
the
new
M2.
chips, the M2. So I think it's going to be a lot better for a lot of people. Um, so that's pretty much the one that I'm excited for. I mean, I'm excited for all of them. I want to see what they're like and what how people react to it and what other reviewers say about it. So I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the 24-inch iMac updated because like we haven't heard anything about it until now, or
Yeah,
until last week. So I'm excited for it because like hate the design all you want. I think it's still a great computer
yeah,
for people
yeah,
who just need a computer in their home or something. Like I was actually considering getting one because like buying a MacBook Pro with the M1 Max, it's going to take a while to ship.
yeah,
So I even looked at how much it was going to cost to rent a 24-inch iMac just to try it out, and maybe I would like it so much that I would want to buy it. But then leasing or renting it, it was not worth it at all. It was going to be like
yeah.
£1,000 for 3 months, and at that point you might as well
What?
just buy it. You might as well just buy
Dude,
it. It's like
god damn.
seriously, that's
God.
like I think in US dollars, I think it's like $1,200 for a month. No, for like 3 months. You don't even get to keep the
Wow.
thing. So, and I think you could buy the base model for that.
Yeah.
Like yes,
Yeah.
it was like higher specs, but I mean, you might as well just buy the computer. But anyway, I'm going off topic here, but what was I saying now? Yeah, so I'm also interested to see like if they're gonna stick with the same colors or if they're gonna
Yeah.
change them and at least the shades of them and make them more uniform with the iPhone lineup
That
and
that would be cool.
hopefully the iPad Air lineup at least as
Yes.
well.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah,
That would be
but
cool.
these new computers might be coming in March, if not later on, in June. So a lot of people are saying that it's very unlikely that these will come out in March, because March we're just gonna get the new iPhone SE, which is gonna be really exciting. Everybody's hyped for that phone, because it's gonna have so many amazing features that have never been seen before. And then we're also gonna be getting an updated iPad Air, which is same story, different size, different product. But it would be cool if we saw these Macs as well. I think it would really spice up the event and would make it worth the watch, I think.
Definitely.
Um,
Definitely will.
so hopefully, we'll see. But yeah. And hopefully, who knows, maybe one of these desktops is actually the iMac Pro and everybody's
Yeah.
just going to be super excited about it.
Everybody's gonna jump on that one for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So,
I've got to convince myself that MacBooks are better, or else I'm
dude,
going to go and
that's like
buy a
me though.
desktop
That's
and
like
then
me.
it's going to just be stuck.
Dude, I saw.
Because because I love the concept of Macs. I love the concept of desktops. They're just like they're super powerful. But then I kind
Yeah,
of like the laptop because I can just carry it around if I go on holiday or
that,
anything.
that's
Just
the
take it
thing.
with me.
Like that was the thing for me. Um, Especially Apple computers. They're like the desktops are so big. You know, the displays are so big. So, depending on what desk you have and stuff, what your setup is like, it it really takes up a lot of space. This like, yeah, you need maybe you're gonna need different dongles and stuff like that if you don't have the new computers that have all the ports. But um, dude, personally, I'd rather have a uh, little laptop, have the dongles, and that's it. Because I like to have space on on my desk. You know what I mean? Like if I don't have space for all my other stuff, I'm gonna go crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
and this desk that I have here is already cramped as it is. So you can imagine what it would look like if it had a big giant computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's
So
something else that I just thought. With the 24-inch iMac, I hope they add something like an SD card reader on the back instead of just having
that would be
two
awesome.
to four Thunderbolt ports.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
like, I want a micro SD card reader. Or no, sorry, an SD card reader. Like I
yeah.
don't care. I don't care if it has an HDMI port. I don't use it. I just care that it has Thunderbolt and SD card. That's the only ports I need.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm fine with using a dongle. I'm gonna
Yeah,
use a dongle anyway. Like even when I had the MacBook with like ports and stuff, I used to use dongles anyway because I had more than like two things plugged in at once,
right.
like using
Yeah,
USB. So
that's like me. That's like me.
hopefully we'll see it. But before we move on to like non-Apple stuff, I have a little bit of a rant for
Uh
this
oh.
episode. I just thought about it.
Let's hear it. Let's hear
So you know that like iOS software and macOS and watchOS, they've all been having issues lately.
Yeah.
And like in the past couple weeks, I have been having a lot of issues with mainly iPadOS and
Ooh.
also watchOS. So let's start off with watchOS. So
Oh,
yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I like checked my watch. I was like, oh, it's like this time, and then my brother was like, no, it's not. I was like, what do you mean? And it's like, this is the time. And I was like, wait. and his phone was like a couple minutes ahead of mine. I was like, how is that possible? Because they're both using the same network and stuff like that. And then I checked my iPad, and it said the exact same time that my brother just told me. It's like apparently my watch, and I actually changed the watch face on my watch, and the time was correct. But then I went back to the other watch face, and the time was wrong. I was so confused, and it happened again today. I looked at my watch, and it was like 3:15, and I was like, oh, it's 3:15. And my mom was like, no, it's 3:45. I was like, how? No. I changed the watch face again, and then there you go, it was wrong as well. And this has never happened to me before. Like, this has just happened the other day. Okay, now moving on to iPadOS. Apart from the fact that there's a lot of apps that are actually, for those who are listening or watching, I recently got an iPad. I've got the exact same iPad that Taylor has, except in a different color. iPad 6th generation. It's awesome. I love having an iPad. Yeah. But anyway, so a lot of apps have been crashing recently, which is another thing. I don't know if maybe it's because the iPad is old and it's got 2 gigs of RAM instead of having like 16 or whatever the iPad Pro has. But what was I going to say now? What was the problem? Oh yeah, apps, like there's a lot of apps that aren't optimized at all for iPad. Like a lot of the banking apps that I use, like for my bank, I have to download. I download it on the iPad, and it's like the little screen thing. And there's even some others, so like some games that are like, or even Google Stadia. Google Stadia is supposed to be something that you use on like a bigger screen, like even a TV. But then on the iPad, no, we don't have an iPad app. We have an iPhone app, and here you go. And it's like this tiny little thing. It's so annoying. But anyway, some other bugs that I've been having. I don't know if this is just like particular to the iPad, but sometimes AirDrop, and actually this has been prominent on all my devices. Sometimes AirDrop just doesn't work. Like I tap, like send this image to to my computer, and then it just takes forever and then it's like, oh, failed or something after 10 minutes. I'm like, why? And then I restart the iPad and it's fine, or I restart the computer and it's fine. It's so strange. It's like I miss the times where I would just be able to AirDrop, or I used to be able to do anything and there wouldn't be any issues. Like, it's just supposed to work. Why doesn't it work? And even, here's another issue to add to the list. macOS, sometimes with iCloud, when I like want to go to Finder and I just have everything on my Mac back up to iCloud automatically.
Right.
It's like when I'm doing thumbnails and stuff with Affinity Photo, it'll automatically upload to the cloud. And then sometimes I want to go and re-edit an old thumbnail because I want to change it on YouTube because the video is underperforming, which I've had a lot of lately. But I go and change it, and then it's like, oh, sorry, it's in the cloud. We need to download it. And I'm there, and it's taking forever to download, even if it's like not even a 2 megabyte file.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I don't. I love Apple. I love Apple products, but why does it have to be so hard to make something that works now? Like, I think they're nailing the hardware. I absolutely love the hardware. I love my iPhone 13 mini, but the software just isn't cutting it right now. I think John Prosser put it best. He said that Apple makes great hardware, but not great software, something like that. I can't remember what he said, but there's something along those lines. They're just slacking on their software side, honestly.
By the way, you just reminded me of something, and I kind of wanted to shout out John Prosser. Did you see the last FPT episode last night?
No, I have not, but I heard that his quality has improved.
Oh my god! I was like, okay, is it me? And I even sent you the text. I'm like, is it me, or did the quality just like improve greatly? And he responded with the 2 eyeball emoji, and I'm just like, damn,
he's insane. See, I think he either got a new camera, because he said he was gonna upgrade to 4K. So I don't know. Maybe he got a new camera and now he's recording 4K.
Maybe. But it looks beautiful, dude. Beautiful. I loved it. Dude, if I could have quality like that, that would be amazing. Seriously. I'm actually thinking, so I've been looking for different lenses. You know how you can put different lenses on the iPhone?
Yeah.
I've been looking for some, and I found one that I really think I want to get, especially for like my trips, in Portugal and stuff. Dude, like it would be badass. And honestly, I think that maybe doing videos with them, I think it would improve greatly. I like the different apps I've used. I mean, I've used ProTake and stuff like that. The only thing that I really didn't like about ProTake is it doesn't go to 4K. It only does 1080p.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really care for it. So now I'm back to using just the regular camera app. Now I'm doing HDR, so I think it looks a little bit better. But I really want to get to this point where, you know, something where like your camera, or something a little bit more professional, because obviously, like I think it's pretty good, but at the same time, I think I need to upgrade a little bit, and
Yeah.
I just
I
want to
mean,
experiment.
have you looked into moment lenses?
I've heard of them, but I haven't really.
That
I've
I've
really
heard those are
do it.
super super good. I'd definitely look into it. And
Ooh,
also another thing maybe is even maybe just like practicing with different LUTs on to just make your video look a little bit better, a little
yep.
bit different, like color wise. Because LUTs you could usually like download free packs and it's like already done, and all you do is you just throw it on the video and it makes it look so much better. Like I use a LUT in every single one of my videos, and it like the camera quality looks like it does right now, but
Yep.
then with my videos they look a little bit like the colors look a bit different
Yeah. Yeah.
because I always
I've
use a
noticed.
LUT. I think it makes it look a lot more cinematic, which is
Yeah.
good.
I mean, that I'm still stuck on like iMovie and stuff. I really haven't found, because honestly, like, I really haven't found anything I really like on, especially on the Mac. Um, I,
Oh,
so,
by the way, I tried using iMovie on my iPad the other day. I was very disappointed. With for one reason. For one reason.
damn. Okay,
Cuz
I want to hear this.
cuz you can only edit videos in 16 by 9. You can't change the aspect ratio.
True. True.
So cuz like I've started using my iPad for, which I think is a
And
super super good idea for
yep.
short form content.
Yep.
Editing it on the iPad is so nice because I just recorded the short form content on my phone or my S10, if I'm showing my phone, and then I just upload it to Google Drive or like AirDrop it, and then I just put it in Vlo or VLLO, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Because I tried iMovie because I was like iMovie is definitely going to be something I'm going to use on this iPad, but then it was like no, throw it out the window. I might invest in LumaFusion at some point,
Mhm.
but using Vlo has been super good. It's worked
Yeah.
super
I,
well.
I've even tried LumaFusion, and I know a lot of people use that. I don't know. I feel like it just kind of confuses me. I like simple things. You know
Yeah,
what I
simple
mean?
things. Yeah,
Um,
Final Cut Pro is very simple to use, I must say, like compared to some of the other stuff.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
though there's a lot there, it can get complicated if you want it to.
right, right.
But
Did you see? Who was it? Rene Ritchie. He posted on Twitter his timeline for, I think, the video he posted today. Bruh, some people's timelines, even yours, you go all out, and I'm just like, bruh, my
yeah, like
timeline versus everybody else's is just like,
if I started using iMovie right now, I would just die. Because like I've got like multiple layers on top. I've got like a adjustment layer with the LUT, and then I've got text here, text there, text this other place, B-roll, other B-roll. It's like,
yeah.
yeah, my
The
they
only
could get
thing,
insane
and
sometimes.
I've said this before. I really wish that they would update iMovie a lot more, and kept it the same as mobile apps. On the mobile app, you can move the text around wherever you want it. On the
Hmm.
Mac, you can't. It's so annoying. That's the one thing that I think needs updating. I mean,
Yeah,
the rest, I mean, yeah, maybe um, add different transitions, switch up the transitions a little bit, add some new stuff. There's a lot of creators, not I mean, not just tech creators, but a lot of other people that use iMovie to edit their stuff. And I hear it left and right. They need to update it and add different cool things. Yeah, there's a lot of people who are using Final Cut and all these other things, but there's still a lot of people who use iMovie, and I think that they need to, do something with it once in a while. Okay, maybe not as much
Agree.
as all the bigger and more usable video editors, but still, I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Hopefully WWDC we see a lot of like improvements to Apple software, like not just in terms of like refining the software with bugs, but also um, going and like fixing these kind of like these different applications. Even hopefully bringing Final Cut Pro to the iPad,
That'd
because
be
like right
awesome.
now the
That'd be
iPad Pro is such a good device. It's so powerful, but iPadOS is just limiting it so much. And
yeah,
Apple is,
man.
it doesn't look like Apple's even, like, I want to do a video about this, like,
Yeah.
but I don't know how well it's going to perform. Just about my thoughts on iPads in general, like, since I've been
Do it.
using one for the past couple weeks. Because, like,
Listen,
there's a lot of things I think Apple does really well with the iPad. Like, I don't know why a lot of people
sure,
complain about multitasking, but I love having, like, multiple windows open and stuff
sure.
like that as it is now.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's a bit better than macOS. Like with macOS, I like having like all the windows just open everywhere.
sure. Yeah, me too.
Like it would be nice to do that on the iPad, but then when I use the iPad, I'm not exactly doing those kind of things. But I think there's a lot of things that that Apple can improve on with iPadOS, including, but not limited to, like getting companies to actually optimize apps for
Yeah.
iPad. Like I remember back in the day when you used to download an app on the iPad, you could only download iPad apps, but then you had a tab that you could like install iPhone apps on the
Yep.
iPad, which meant it like just took the iPhone app and then just blew it up to size. Um, and like you could like make it smaller and bigger, which is what you could do. Like I'm surprised, I'm shocked,
Yeah.
or I'm gonna say this word that I kind of learned the other day and I'm starting to use. I'm flabbergasted by like by how many apps how many apps on the iPad are not optimized for the iPad. It's
Yeah.
like seriously, like the app that I use for my debit cards or even my credit cards, they literally are not optimized for iPad at all. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
why
I used to.
Apple? Why? It
I used to
used to be
play.
so good, but now it's just so bad.
I used to play like Temple Run,
Oh
and
yeah, I
oh,
love
bro,
Temple Run.
I
My
love that
days.
game. But I couldn't use it on the iPad because it wasn't optimized at the time. I don't know if it is now, but it wasn't at the time I used it, and it was just so annoying. And I'm just like, come on, this needs to be updated. I listen. As soon as I see an app that's not optimized for a device, automatically deleted.
Just
I'm
go
sorry, I
away.
can't use it. I
Like
can't use it.
I downloaded an app for my iPhone the other day and it wasn't updated for the aspect ratio of the 13 mini. I was like, what? Why does it have black bars at the top of the bottom? I was like, oh yeah, because it's they haven't updated it since the iPhone 10 came out.
I can't stand it. It's awful.
iPhone 7 came out probably.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane.
I can't
But
stand it.
anyway, I
But
think we're kind of procrastinating the time where we have to switch from our Apple fanboyness to
oh boy. Oh
Samsung.
boy.
Now let's talk about Samsung. The moment that everybody has been
Woo!
waiting for. What did Samsung announce at their event? So we have Galaxy S22, S22 Plus, which are meh. Galaxy S22 Ultra, which in my opinion is kind of meh. Um, Galaxy Tab S8, cool. Galaxy Tab S8 Plus, nice. Galaxy S8 Ultra with a 15.9-inch display. Why would you buy a tablet that big? Oh, and it also has a notch, which is exciting. Everybody loves
Yay.
notches, especially when it's the company
Dude.
that last year posted. Imagine having a notch in 2021. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine having a notch in 2022 Samsung. Yet you go
Dude.
and add it.
Dude. I really and I'm actually so I even said this to you on text message. I was gonna make a video about the notch. Bro, I don't know if I should anymore because honestly, it honestly just seems like all these other companies again. Yeah, these companies are gonna jump on each other and make things that seem better and look better than another company. And I feel like Samsung is going to be one of these companies that just now is going to make notches for everything. But
I don't think they're gonna at this point. I don't think they're gonna add a notch to like their phones just because they've got the hole punch.
wouldn't be surprised. But
They're like let's add face unlock to our phones. 3D face unlock notch. Nobody's gonna care. Honestly, they're gonna add a notch. Nobody's gonna care. Just like nobody cares about the one on the tablet.
True.
But then when Apple adds a notch, everybody's freaking out. They're like, "This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen." Ew, ew, ew. Like even when do you remember when the Google Pixel 3 XL came out, which had that face? It was. I mean, a lot of people did talk and comment about that, but it's like not many people are talking about that anymore.
Bruh.
That was the best notch, honestly. I
Bruh,
think
that
was peak smartphone design right there.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can top that.
Listen, the thumbnails people made to review that phone was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, especially John Prosser's the ones with the face.
Dude,
those are so good.
Dude, his thumbnails are amazing. I really, really want. I wish his team would work for me because I love whoever makes his thumbnails. I love you because it's just incredible.
I think he does his own thumbnails. I think he does everything himself. Like yeah, he does his editing and thumbnails and everything.
Hey John, you want to start working for me?
It's probably gonna charge you quite a bit, but anyway. So talking a little bit more about these phones. So I haven't really like dived much into like looking at reviews for these phones because honestly, like I have a Samsung phone, been there, done that. I don't really like One UI. I think it's kind of overrated. It's got a lot of bloatware. In fact, something I like about the new what Samsung was taught, like the event in general. Before we move on, I think the event was really good. Like I think the production quality was good. It was much better than last time. Like the last event,
I gotta go watch it again because
the last event they did. Do you remember the last event?
Yeah,
the one where they announced just like new colors for the Z Flip or whatever. It's like the most pointless event ever.
I texted you and I'm just like, what was it, like 20 minutes? I'm like, 20 minutes, excuse my language, for this.
Exactly. Yeah, it's.
I'm so hyped for this event that I texted one of my friends that's starting to get into technology and watching my stuff, and I'm just like, hey, you should watch this and we'll talk about it together. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. And they even were like, you made me waste 20 minutes for that. I'm just like, all right. I thought it was gonna be,
Anyway, we're talking about this event, Taylor. We're talking about this event. But yeah, I think the event was good. I think the production quality was good. I clicked off when BTS started singing because they're like, oh, we've got a surprise for you at the end. We're gonna have BTS give you a song. They're like some Korean band that girls love. Anyway, we can have a discussion about that another time. That and anime, I don't think are.
I'm just gonna say
good.
This generation. I'm just gonna say this. This generation is a disgrace for the music, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back to watching the Super Bowl this year.
I mean, I think there still is some good music that comes out there, but there's some artists that are just like, why?
Why do you exist?
It's even like a lot of songs nowadays. They're just about like the same stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not even gonna mention what kind of things, but like inappropriate things. It's like why, why all of a sudden are we just making songs about this stuff? It's like you don't have to. But anyway.
Come on. Can you go back to the 90s where it was good?
I mean, even the early 2000s were fine. Like some music that came out.
Exactly.
But then now, like, I think lockdown just kind of made things worse. Everybody's like, oh, now let's just make songs about the stuff that we couldn't do during lockdown.
Yeah, like, it wasn't. I even said this. Mental health is a thing, and I think it screwed up a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Anyway, we're talking about Samsung. So the S22 and S22 Plus are kind of meh upgrades. Like some people, I haven't watched many reviews of these phones because I don't really find it like exciting.
Yeah.
But Samsung says it's the phone that makes everyday epic. Debatable. They've got nightography camera, which looks pretty cool. Like you can take videos and photos at night better. Yay, if you're into that. I don't go outside, so I don't
Me
do that. I mean, I go outside during the day, but
Yeah.
um, they've got apparently it's got way beyond all day battery life, and apparently like the batteries are smaller physically, but like One UI is kind of optimized and stuff. I haven't really seen any. Actually, I haven't. I don't think I've seen any reviews for these
Mm-mm.
new phones yet. Like so, there have been some that have been released already, but it's
Yeah.
people who haven't been testing the phones much, clearly. And then also, it's funny how Samsung says it's got our fastest chip ever when they're
Right.
actually using a Snapdragon chip in the American versions at least.
Yeah.
They're using Exynos here in the UK and other places. It comes in a bunch of colors, 4 colors. I actually really like the white, and the Phantom Black looks pretty nice as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the design is decent. What on earth is this yellow? I just saw the yellow color they have. Or what is it supposed to be? Pink? Wait, what? I'm so confused. Anyway, the colors are kind of cool. Um, you can do they've got online exclusives. That makes sense now.
Oh,
Um,
gotcha. Yep.
yeah, but I mean, they've got three new cameras: 12 megapixel ultra wide, 50 megapixel wide, which gets downscaled to 12 megapixels for those who
Yeah.
didn't know. So it's technically a 12 megapixel camera. And actually, this is something I didn't get. Well, two things actually. The telephoto apparently is 10 megapixels. And I believe Samsung used to use 12 megapixels on the telephoto, but I could be wrong. And then you go to like Apple and they use 12
Yeah.
megapixels on all of their cameras.
Yep.
Then you have Samsung here that's just like doing I don't know, is it a pick a mix or something? Just like, yeah, let's take 12 megapixels, 50 megapixels, 10 megapixels. Why?
Yeah.
Actually, I think all of Apple's cameras, even the front facing one now, is 12 megapixels.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
which is the way it should be. Like, you shouldn't, like, if you zoom in, you shouldn't be losing quality when you want to zoom in even more,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Right. No, complete
But
sense.
yeah, the
Yeah.
front facing camera is 10 megapixels. It has no depth sensor or anything, so it's just doing all software if you're doing portrait mode and stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. There weren't really that big of an update, to be honest. I don't know if you would agree with that. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on to the Ultra, unless you have any thoughts about the standard S22 or S22 Plus.
No, I have a lot of. I have more thoughts on the Ultra
Ultra.
than anything. I really, really love the Ultra and what they
I
did
think,
with it.
yeah, I think the Ultra is definitely the best phone they announced.
Yeah.
Regardless of it having an S Pen, like I'm not really a big stylus on your phone guy. Like I love the Apple Pencil on the iPad,
Yeah.
and I honestly don't use it that much, but when I do use
I
it, it's
don't.
great.
I
I
don't.
personally like. I think you're kind of like you would like to have a stylus on your phone, or you could we were
Here's the
discussing
thing,
the other day.
and honestly, I gave it more thought after our conversation the other day. Yes, you're right. I don't think these phones need it. Maybe it would be cool for like the plus versions, but I think especially when they make their foldable, I think that's when a lot of people would use it. You know?
I think if we're talking about foldables, I think it makes sense having an S Pen because
Yeah,
you're basically kind of like opening it up and it's becoming a tablet.
yeah,
Um, so I
and
think that makes sense.
I think even Apple would benefit if they would make an Apple Pencil Mini for um for their foldable when that comes out. If that
Yeah,
comes out at this point, honestly.
exactly. We'll have to see on that. But this is the best Samsung phone Samsung's ever made. It's technically a Galaxy Note, but with the Ultra
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
So it's got a built-in S Pen, which probably most people are gonna buy and then use for like 3 days and then forget about it. I kind of like the design of these phones. I personally am not a fan of curved displays, and like I used to be a Galaxy S10 Plus user, and like the curved display, especially when you're not using a case, is an absolute nightmare to use. Like trust me.
Yeah.
Um, like it's cool to look at, but it's not cool functionally. Um, but honestly, the design of this phone is just awesome. I love the colors, especially the Phantom White looks so good. I really wish Apple kind of took notes from Samsung with some of their colors, because the Prism Black and Phantom
Sure.
Black are just so good. I love the
Yeah.
colors. I hope Apple really does that with iPhones this year instead of giving us graphite and silver, which are a joke of black and white.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure. I
but
think that'd be
it's
cool.
interesting.
Go
It's
ahead.
interesting how they all Samsung even made like a Sierra blue, except they're not calling it Sierra blue color,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yep.
sky blue. But yeah, display's amazing on the S10, S22 Ultra. It comes with a power brick? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No, I doubt it. But yeah, it's a great phone. I kind of like it. Would I buy it? No. Would I use one? No. It's Samsung. That's
Yeah.
why. But
Me
yeah.
and my friend, he has the Z Flip, and we were thinking of making a video where we
Oh, you
switch
should.
phones for
Oh
a day
yeah, definitely do it.
and see what we think. Because I've only, as you know, I my first and last Samsung was the S3, so I haven't really messed with a Samsung phone since then. And he's never ever messed with an iPhone. So I think he used it once. Um, yeah, he used his friend's phone to make a phone call one time, and that was it. But I think that would be cool if we switch phones for pretend it was like for a day and see where it goes, and see like whether or not we really like it and um, if we would switch to one of those. So I think it's something to talk about in the future that I want to do. Also, we were thinking of doing because he has the S3 Frontier, the watch. So we were thinking of doing that too.
Just a
Uh,
full on
I,
switch.
I honestly think maybe doing everything to watch and phone. I think that would be cool.
I would honestly, I'd do it. Like it's great to see like the other side, and then kind of seeing what
Yeah,
you're missing and what you're not missing in a way.
right.
But I think using a Samsung phone for 2 years made me appreciate iPhone so much more.
Yeah,
Just because I
definitely.
was stuck with this thing, and I mean, it's fine, but it's not the best phone I've ever used.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. Anyway,
So
we've got to like speed things up here a little bit. Last thing, with the Samsung event, Galaxy Tab. What do you think?
uh, again, my favorite was the S22 Ultra. The others, I don't really care for it. I don't really
Yeah.
care for it.
What about
Especially,
I meant the tablets that they released.
I didn't see that. I didn't even know that they released it until I saw like
Yeah.
somebody posting a video about it. But I didn't even get to see their video, so I know nothing about that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, honestly, my personal opinion, I think these tablets are really good. Like I was kind of shocked.
Really,
They're also bringing things like Luma Fusion over to Android,
I
and it's going to
saw
be on the
that.
S8 Tab S8. Um, I'm not a huge fan of the size options that they have. So they have Galaxy Tab S. I also hate the name. Like, why are they calling it the Tab S8? Just call it the Tab S22, please. But anyway, the Tab S8, the Galaxy Tab S8, S8 Plus, and S8 Ultra. You've got an 11-inch display, or a 12.4-inch display, or a 14.6-inch display. I thought it was
Wow.
15-inch for some reason. I think 14.6 inches for a tablet is just huge, humongous. I wouldn't use a tablet that big. I'd stick
Isn't
for
that like a computer screen?
that's yeah, that's like as big as my computer. Like I have a 15-inch MacBook Pro, and
bruh,
it's essentially the same size. Maybe
bruh.
just a tiny bit smaller. It's insane. But I've seen some videos about it, and like apparently it's like super light, super thin, so you don't really notice that it's like that huge. But I think it's great for artists and stuff like that. I'm really excited to see what Samsung is going to do in the future because I really like the steps that they've been taking recently.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there are some steps that I don't really like. The fact that they're kind of building themselves around Android a lot more. Like they're getting rid of a lot of their stock apps and they're going to Google and using theirs. Um, so I mean, yeah, I'm excited to see the future of Samsung and see what they're going to do with their software because I think they're really building a decent ecosystem that will
Oh
be
yeah.
able to compete with Apple.
Listen, I gotta admit they've been really stepping up. So
Apple, you better watch out because
yeah,
Samsung's coming, and so is Google. Google's making
yes,
moves as well.
dude, Google is
Hopefully they release a decent desktop software though.
bruh, bruh. As far the next topic we're gonna be talking about here is the Pixel Fold. And man, if it's as good as what they're saying, I'm gonna tell you right now, Apple better speed it up with that fold. I gotta tell you, because what we're hearing, as far as the Apple Fold or iPhone Fold, whatever you want to call it, um, that's only gonna be coming in like 2025, or maybe later. So I mean, honestly, they should really speed it up and make it to like 2024. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and I really am looking forward to see this Pixel Fold. Um, so apparently it's gonna be like around $1,500, which is pretty competitive compared to like Galaxy Z Fold.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it might be called the Pixel Notepad, which I think would make sense. But I mean, we all know Google. Google's probably going to choose a weird name. It's
yeah.
not going to have that.
True, true.
But it's going to have basically a similar design to what we get on the Samsung side of things, but the outer display is going to be a bit bigger.
Ooh.
That's going to be better. It's of course going to have Google Tensor. Um, and I mean, they're already working. Google's already working on like um, Android 12L or something, which is built
Oh
for
yeah, I heard about that.
foldables.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be exciting to see how they're gonna optimize everything together. Um, I mean, honestly, I'm hyped for this Pixel Fold more than any other Fold. I think. Like
Yeah.
Apple of course will come with theirs last because they're gonna want to make sure that the technology is good and there's
You
not
said it,
there's
man.
not really many
You said it.
trade-offs.
Yeah. I listen. I have complete faith in Google. Honestly, I do. They've knocked it out of the park with their phones. Um, I do think that the they really need to step it up, um, just a little bit with the video quality, because it already takes great pictures, but the video I guess isn't really that great.
Yeah.
So if they can do that, they're gonna succeed. Like honestly, especially because it's a foldable phone. You know, that there's a lot of people out there who are starting to like these devices. I gotta admit, I wasn't one to really like the foldable, and for me, I've said this before. I would prefer the flip versus the fold, but I mean, I'm really liking what I'm seeing, especially with this Google Pixel. So
Yeah. And then
it's
there's
cool.
me and then there's me and I'm the opposite. I actually like the fold more than the flip idea.
Really, wow. Uh,
Because I mean,
yeah, no.
having a tablet that folds in half, I think makes a lot more sense than having a phone that folds in half.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
I mean, it's gonna be the size of my phone, slightly bigger, of course, just because it's like got a hinge and everything, and then it
Yeah,
just turns into
yeah.
an iPad Mini. Like, I if the outer display is as big, is a good size and is a good aspect ratio, and even the inside is
Yeah,
good, then I mean, I would get something like that, to be honest.
for sure, for sure. Me too. Me too.
So
There,
it's
there's a lot.
exciting. I'm
There was a lot of people saying that like, oh, you talk so much crap about the fold and all this stuff, but it's just like I didn't see the future in it. But now that I'm seeing all these other companies doing it and um, crushing it, crushing it, I gotta tell you, I really think that uh, there's going to be a future for it. Yeah, maybe not for everybody, but there's going to be a future for a lot of people. A lot of people. So
Yeah, and I think that the more the like the foldable idea is out there, I think I'm starting to like it a little bit more.
yeah,
Um, but still, if we're talking about Z Flip kind of foldables, just forget about it. I don't think those are the future at all. I think they're just a gimmick. But if we're talking about like these folds that fold in half, that are tablet size when they're open and they're phone size when they're closed, I think if they iron out all of the like the little issues that are currently there, like the plastic screen that's easily scratchable,
yeah,
they
yeah,
fix the hinge. They make a really good hinge, but they also fix the crease on the display that is not only less noticeable, but also when you're scrolling up and down, you don't get this like speed bump,
right,
or reverse speed bump. I don't know what you would call it, like this crater that's just in the middle, um, or gap. I think, as soon as those kind of, and also like we get maybe better battery life as well. As soon as all of these issues are sorted out, and
yeah,
Apple comes into the equation with it, I think that is when foldables are gonna be here for a while at least, maybe
yeah,
to kind of like help us transition to that AR future that we all want. That
definitely.
whole Iron Man looking future where you could just like look around and you interact with screens and everything around the place. Like I
That'll
think
be
foldables are a decent idea, and also if they bring the price down, because right now foldables are
yes,
pretty expensive.
yes. I
Like
definitely agree with that.
1500, like 15 or whatever. I think $1,700 for a phone is like.
Dude,
Don't know if we wanna go down that route.
bro, I was even like saying before we would never think about buying a $1,000 phone, and now like it's become a
It's
thing.
normal now, I guess.
It's the
But
norm. It's I can't wait to see you know how much how much more expensive they're going to be in the future once they've developed other technologies and stuff.
yeah, and here's another thing. Kind of backtracking really, really quick to the Samsung event. The I was about to say the Note Ultra, but the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it starts at like $1,200, and
Yeah.
I think it's so funny how like people, they're like, oh, Apple is so expensive, they're overpriced, yada yada yada. But then you get Samsung on the other side that's
Mhm.
now selling phones that are more expensive than iPhones,
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
and you get less storage options as well. Like on
yeah.
the, or at least even on the tablets, you get less storage than you would get on like an iPad Pro, for like less money.
I love people who talk all this crap about other people and other things, but they don't see what they like themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's so many people out there who treasure this. I mean, myself included. I was just like Apple, 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 and not seeing what other companies are doing good and stuff. There's so many other companies out there that are doing really great stuff. Yes, Apple's a great company, but we gotta also venture out and see what these other companies are doing, and how they're differentiating from Apple and what they're doing, um, and what Apple can do to make themselves grow as a company, and differentiate what they're doing with their devices.
Yeah, so I think we'll have to wait and see what happens with all these foldables. I'm excited to see Google's, of course, and hopefully Apple joins the party very soon.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, is there anything else you wanted to discuss or anything
No,
else you wanted to talk about?
that's pretty much it, man.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching this very long episode of the Tech Unlocked podcast. It's not as long as some of our others, but an hour and 20 minutes or an hour and a half is it's quite long. But thanks for sticking with us till the end. If you did, send us a tweet and say you are one of the. What shall they say? Tweet at us and say you are the TUP champions. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a TUP champion, and we'll retweet your tweet. But
Definitely.
or whatever. But yeah, as always, guys, if you have any questions, let us know over on Twitter, and or just message us individually or whatever you want to do. If you're a YouTube creator and you want to be on our podcast, and of course you are a tech lover as well, because we don't want to just have anybody on the podcast, let us know as well. We'd love to have you on.
Definitely.
Everything we mentioned, every single news story we mentioned in this episode will be linked in the show notes or the description, the YouTube description down below. Be sure to check them out if you want to fact check us for some reason, or you just want to go and look at the articles a little bit more and get some more details. If you guys want to follow us, all the links are down below. As always, this was episode 19 of the Tech Unlocked podcast. Thank you so much for watching or listening. We'll catch you guys next week.